Alright, so I'm back. I was in Newfoundland for a week visiting family and that. But we got a lot of stories to talk about. We got Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight, vacating the featherweight title. We got um, Diego Lopez versus Volkanovski. Then we also have Belal versus JDM. And we have Patricio Pitbull making his UFC debut. And then I'm going to talk a bit about Forrest Griffin on the Rampage Jaxxon podcast because, dear Lord, way to bat 300 on a podcast. So, that interests you, stick around. If you do feel inclined, leave a like, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Get back in the algorithm, but without further ado, let's start it off. Ilia Topuria vacates title. Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez headlines. We know that Diego Lopez was supposed to fight Diego Lopez is supposed to fight Yair Rodriguez, and we'll get to him in a second. But with the announcement of Ilia Topuria vacating, things have changed. There will be a new featherweight champion crowned at the UFC's return to Miami. UFC CEO Dana White announced Wednesday night that Ilia Topuria has vacated his title, and former champ Alexander Volkanovski will face surging contender Diego Lopez for the belt in the main event of UFC 314 on April 12th at the Castilla Center. Who do they get to write these articles, man? White also announced that Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett serves as a 5 round co-main event. Okay. While longtime Bellator champion Patricio Pitbull has signed with the promotion and faces Yair Rodriguez. Oh, wow, I don't even need this article. I can just talk about it right here. Volkanovski returns to the octagon for the first time in 14 months since losing the championship to Topuria at UFC 298 in February 2024. The Great dropped the belt after picking up 5 successful title defenses, which includes the pair wins over Max Holloway. Lopez enters his first title fight with 5 straight victories, including a lopsided win over Brian Ortega in his most recent bout at UFC 306 this past September. Chandler has dropped uh, Chandler has dropped 2 straight and 4 or 5 as he hopes to climb back on track, while Pimblett is 6-0 in the UFC, including a quick submission over King Green at UFC 304. Other new fights, we don't care. So, starting off with, I'm just going to start off with Ilia vacating the title. Obvious here, he will fight Makachev. He's a massive star. I know there is talks of him fighting Dustin Poirier. He called out Charles Oliveira. Both wicked fights, but Ilia Topuria is a massive star. And the UFC definitely kicked. I'm gonna mute that. The UFC definitely sees the star power in him. Now, I would have liked to see him defend the featherweight belt a few more times, maybe even just once more against Diego Lopez to solidify himself as the greatest featherweight. But to be fair, when you knock out Max Holloway, you knock out Volkanovski, you pretty much already did that. Those are 2 of the 3 greatest featherweights of all time, and we also know that Ilia Topuria plans to retire early in his early 30s, even said 30. So, will the UFC make him debut against Islam Makhachev? Very likely, considering Dana White is pissed off at um, Arman Sarukian for pulling out a day before the UFC 311 fight against Islam Makhachev. You can't do that unless you are a massive star like Conor McGregor, Alex Pereira, and then you have the fact that the medical examiners looked at him. But I'm all for it. I, like I said, I would have preferred him defend the belt. I think that a lot of champions are very reluctant in defending that belt, and they want to chase the Conor McGregor path. And to be fair, though, Ilia Topuria has every right. Now, I do favor Makachev in that fight. I think that Makachev is massive for lightweight. We know that Ilia Topuria had his fight against Jerry Herbert at 155 and nearly got knocked out by a head kick. So the question is, can he bulk up to 155 properly? Dana White says this is because of weight problems. We will have to see. But for both of these guys, Islam and Ilya, this is the kind of fight that puts you in the GOAT conversation, then puts your ranking in the pound for pound as solid number one. I feel like, you know, for Islam, he had that one knockout loss, which turned out to be a fluke, and he just ran through everybody else. He had a close fight with Volkanovski, then he knocked him out in the next fight. Finished Justin Poirier, finished Oliveira for the belt, ran through Renato Moicano, and like I said, if Arman isn't next, I feel like Ilya is the option to go to. Now, I am trying to fit in as many news articles as I can in this one video that I missed. So, yeah, my opinion, good move. Both of them, legacy fight, and maybe Ilya can do what Connor did in defending both of the belts. Remember, Connor didn't defend the featherweight belt, Ilya did. If Ilya can win the lightweight belt, yes, he won't be a simultaneous, but if he defends it, I think that's definitely more than what Connor did, and especially over the names he was doing. Now, moving on to the next story we have here. Leon Edwards is out of UFC 3. Oh no, it was a fight night. Yeah, I think it was fight night London. Leon Edwards is supposed to fight JDM. That's not happening anymore. Alal Muhammad will be fighting Jack Della Maddalena in Montreal, UFC 315. Reading it here, UFC 315 and the welterweight division as a whole just got shaken up by UFC CEO Dana White in his latest mega announcement. Undefeated Phenom Shavkat Rakhmonov will not be fighting Belal Muhammad for the welterweight title. Nomad is injured, and Australian boxer Jake Della Maddalena is stepping up for his own title opportunity. JDM versus Muhammad will headline UFC 315, which takes place in Montreal, Quebec, Canada on May 10th, but it's not the only new announcement. In addition, the UFC flyweight title will be on the line in the co-main event when Valentina Shevchenko seeks to score her first title defense of her second reign uh, against Manon Fiorot. Sorry, I butchered that name. Finally, another high-profile welterweight fight between Miles Morales and Gilbert Burns. We know about this. So my take on this: one, I think that it should be Shavkat. I was really looking forward to Leon JDM. I feel like that fight stylistically, both of them have incredible striking. JDM has some of the best striking I've ever seen in the UFC. But him getting his title shot, I feel like we will see if he has the takedown defense to fight a guy like Belal. I know that Belal is looking at going up and fighting Dricus Duplessis. He wants to win the division so that Islam can come up and become a champ. Islam wants to do that before he retires, which will most likely be in 2026. But I really like the matchup. I, you know, we don't remember the name, but Belal is really fucking good at what he does. Cardio is incredible, wrestling is incredible, and I do think that he would out grapple JDM. Now, the weird thing about Belal Muhammad is that the only real finish he has is against Sean Brady. Sean Brady being one of my favorite well, I guess he's no longer a prospect, but one of my favorite prospects that was moving up. And I would love to see that rematch. I would love to see Sean Brady get another shot. He's one of my favorite fighters. Better get booked soon. But this is a fun fight. This this would really go on Bilal's resume as a start to a really good title run. Like, you look at Kamaru Usman, right? Kamaru, he won it off of Tyron Woodley. Basically broke Tyron Woodley because he didn't win the fight after that one. Remember, Tyron Woodley was also in the conversation of taking over GSP, and then Usman had his run. Leon Edwards knocked him out, won the third fight by decision. Then Belal dominated Leon and was supposed to fight Shavkat last year, but got injured. And yeah, for Shavkat though, if I was him and I was the UFC, I I wouldn't fight. Yeah, that India fight was close, but I would sit out for the title. He's guaranteed a title shot, and yeah, really like the fight. Would love to see JDM get it. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Jamal, his style works. We've seen all these grapplers come in and put together this pace first style, like Marab, who dominated Umar, handing him his first loss. Um, but should be a real fun fight. Moving on to the second to last thing I want to cover, we got UFC 314, just the entire card. Mainly want to talk about Patricio Pitbull fighting Yair Rodriguez. Like I said, Yair Rodriguez was supposed to fight Diego Lopez. I don't know what the UFC has with giving Yair Rodriguez number one contender fights for no reason. But you look at this card, Volk versus Diego Lopez. Like I say, I do favor Diego. I think that age is definitely going to be a factor. And Volk is coming off of two knockout losses. Patty Pimblett, Michael Chandler, when we knew about this for a while. This is Patty's entrance into the top 10, I guess. Michael Chandler, massive star, entertainer, doesn't fight the smartest, and I do think that Patty is most likely going to win. I don't know whether or not he can finish the top of lightweight. Michael Chandler would be an easy finish. Well, easy in terms of what the lightweight division is with Islam, with Arman, with Charles Oliveira, but should be a fun fight. Then the main thing I want to talk about is Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull. Man, I feel so bad for Patricio Pitbull and everybody that was in Bellator. They got bought out by PFL, and they absolutely fucked everybody over, signed them to bullshit contracts, and sat them on the shelf. People could have had 2, 3, 4 fights. and they didn't even release him until he went on X and started saying what all these fighters should have. That is complete bullshit. What the fucking PFL did with Bellator. And I really thought them buying Bellator would have been massive. It would have been okay. Now we have an actual competitor. You got Francis. You signed Jake Paul. Maybe that goes somewhere, right? No, they fucked it over. Don Davis is a fucking tool. But yeah, I'm really excited. Patricio Pitbull is a guy that I've wanted to see in the UFC for quite some time. He is 37. Now, that age is going to be a factor, but when you look at a guy like MVP, who came over from Bellator, did pretty good, in my opinion, beating he beat Shara Magomedov. Jeff Neal, Carlos Cortez. I'm a big Carlos Cortez guy. Insane knockout power. Jeff Neal has that knockout power. Has been a stable at the welterweight division in the division for some time. And yeah, I think this should be a good fight. I favor Carlos Cortez. And maybe we see Carlos Cortez in the title picture as soon as next year. He is active, got I think 4 wins in 2024. But yeah, Nikita Krylov, Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes is kind of on a resurgence. I think he's won his last two, right? Last fight looked really good. And it was after that John Jones fight where everybody thought that Dominic Reyes won. I'm a big John Jones fan. You know that. I had Dominic winning this fight. But then he would get knocked out by Jan Bohovic. He would have a couple of setbacks. But this would be a good way to for him to get back into the light heavyweight conversation. Sorry. Now, if Pereira is there, I don't like his odds. If Magomed Ankalaev wins that belt, I like his odds against him. And the top five is very iffy for me. You know, Yuri, I believe, is the second best in that division when Yuri uses all of his skills. Lot to see though. Light heavyweight is an interesting division. Danny Gay, Sean Woodson, that is a banger fight. I can't wait for that fight. Danny Gay, he always puts on insane performances. His fight with Diego Lopez was one of the best fights last year. Sean Woodson, I like him. Very big for featherweight, very tall, lengthy, really good kickboxer. Great fight. Jan Joanne versus Verna Jandarova. Two of the top threes at strawweight. Verena Jandarova, I don't think has fought Zhang Wei Wei, but there's talks about Zhang Wei Wei moving up to fight Valentina Shevchenko. So we'll see what happens there. Easy number one contender fight. Should be a good fight. Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. Jim Miller, UFC legend, right? Um, Fought at UFC 100, 200, 300. Has, I think, yeah, the most wins out of any UFC fighter. Fan favorite, we all love him. Chase Hooper, younger guy, coming off of that win against Clay Guida, if I'm remembering correctly, giving Clay Guida the most losses in UFC history, sadly. But overall, I really like this card. Now, it all depends whether or not people get injured or not. Really good pay per view. Don't mind spending $80 for it. Now, how much time do we got here? We got, oh, we're at 20 minutes. All right. So I want to spend the last little bit talking about this. I'm just going to go over the start of this podcast because I have to comment on it. Like, when I watched this, like, initially, I saw Guru's video on this, and then I went and watched it for myself so I can watch it clear, straight from the source. Dude, first of all, I think that Bear is a clown for bringing Bryce Mitchell on. I don't think that what Bryce Mitchell said was right. Again, when you talk about that stuff, you're walking a very fine line. But again, I thought it was terrible luck on their end. But we're just gonna end this video off watching this. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna. Oh my god! How am I not subscribed? I thought it was. All right, let me make sure the audio's on actually. Here we go. All right.
Jaxxon Podcast.
Oh, he wanted to take your job.
My name is Forrest Griffin, and I am honored to be with world champion Quentin Jackson here. And I've already forgotten your name, Bear. Yeah. But no. All right, give me 5 minutes. I want 5 minutes. I want to do a little thought experiment, and I think if I can pull this off, we'll all be on the same page.
Okay.
I think. All right. So, real question: do you ever think when you meet a pale skin like myself that
pale skin?
I'm not really white.
Okay, pale skin.
I'm kind of pinkish.
I didn't hear what you said. Pale skin.
Like if a pig got a sunburn, that's kind of what I look like. Not by choice, but you get what you get.
Yeah. Same color as a pussy. In your face like that. That's
yeah. No, that is. That's just me being old and pale skin. So, serious question. Do you ever think people that look like me did horrible shit to people that look like you for hundreds of years?
Do I think about that?
Yeah.
Again, this is right after the Bryce Mitchell shit. We're not even a minute in, and we're talking about slavery. Dude. And in this podcast, I do have to give Bear credit. Bear shuts the fuck up. He actually read the comments, and he just lets Forrest Griffin cook. But it only gets worse.
It's true, but I don't think about it.
Okay. So I do realize that. Like you talk about generational trauma, shit like that. I realize that, I'm about as white as they come, right? People that look like me did horrible shit, and even under color of law, to people that look like you. I realize that. And so for me, there's not a hesitancy, but you talk about people like, I want to be what do they call them? An ally? Well, I don't want to be an ally. I want to be kind of an advocate for pale skinned people. Like, look, horrible shit happened, but, we would like to make allowances for that and move forward. And so when
what the fuck are you saying, Forrest Griffin? Dude, I should have, I would have done a video on this. Again, I'm kind of just throwing this at the end of this video. Thank you to anybody who's still watching. Well, you are coming out of the gates hot. All right, we gotta get through it.
Somebody of darker skin likes me. I really get fired up because I'm like, hey, look, they were able to look past all the horrible shit that happened. And, I think you have like atomic bombs and then you have slavery, and slavery wins. And if you think about
atomic bombs and what? Atomic bombs and slavery.
This country, is built off the back of slavery. That was initially the biggest financial cap. No, I mean, you look like you're in shock. This is just...
Yeah, some people don't like... No. Keep going.
But so I'm aware of that, and I appreciate that. So I'm definitely, so let's take that a step further, right? So there we are. I had the pleasure of interviewing Eric Dickerson, and he talked about growing up, you had to be twice as good as the white kids to get on the field. Maybe more than twice, right? And so things aren't that bad. as time's passed. But my thought, and I could be wrong. Again, this is what I think, not what I know. If we got a pale skinned guy and a darker skinned guy here, and they're both here, who do you think's getting the position?
And what type of field?
Sport, in any sport.
Probably the dark skinned guy.
You think?
What if they the same?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I answered wrong.
No, hey, there's no wrong answers. It's a thought experiment.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, again, all right, so I guess his point is like, you look at NBA, NFL, majority of the players are black in that. But like, what the fuck? I want to get like 2 more minutes into this, and then we'll wrap the video up.
Oh, okay. So I would have thought that if both people was like that, that maybe if they're gonna have to go, maybe the black guy probably got it. That's what I thought. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't watch sports, so that was like,
in sports. I would guess that it would probably be the other way.
oh yeah, because of the quarterbacks. Black people just started being quarterbacks. I'm sure. You know.
So also,
right.
so you go from racism, and then in the 90s, we were there. We thought white people quit using the N-word, so we thought we beat racism. Turns out, no, it's systemic. We realize this now. So from pure racism, well, we've backed off that, but there's still prejudice. And some of that prejudice, it's kind of like, it's kind of couched in an odd way, right? If you think about African-American males, what stereotype? They're good at sports. They're athletic. They can fight. They have large genitals. That's maybe true, not true.
What does that have to do with Bryce Mitchell coming on? Again, this is in response to the Bryce Mitchell thing. This is Forrest Griffin, I guess, trying to make a point. And he's talking about black guys' dicks. What?
True. But what I'm saying
You
is,
forgot they like watermelon and fried chicken. You forgot.
I'm
just saying. You forgot.
You could say it. I'm gonna.
I can say it.
It's better if you say it.
Okay.
Works out better for me if you say it. So my thought is, the expectation for you is higher than it is for me. So you and I fight, and it is a very close fight. I have an expectation of success because you have a big scary fella and a goofy dude. So my thought would be that it's not an implicit bias. It's not targeted racism, but there's a thought that, well, that guy, actually was a close fight, and so they would expect more of you.
I understand exactly what you. I understand exactly what you're spitting, and me being from the South, being from Memphis, Tennessee, I did like at the time kind of think a little bit a hint of that, but then you and what's his name, Stephen Bonner, you guys single-handedly saved the UFC, and they loved you. And and I kind of think about, I took race out of it 100% when I did the Ultimate Fighter against Rashad Evans, because that was my second time doing the Ultimate Fighter. I was the first coach, by the way, at the time to do 2 seasons, right? And with you doing Ultimate Fighter, at first I did kind of think it was racism, but when I did it with Rashad Evans,
they realized they just don't like you.
No, they didn't like
you. No, you
really? Yeah.
I thought they loved you.
No, because you guys made the Ultimate Fighter. You came from there, and Rashad Evans came from the Ultimate Fighter, and they did basically the same shit.
Kind of their golden child.
Yeah, it was the golden child.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna cut this off. I'm pretty sure you guys all saw this over the week. Man, like, you go from shitting on Bryce Mitchell to make, like, when you clicked on that video, right? You saw Bryce Mitchell. We all thought, all right, he's gonna talk about it. And then you had Anthony Smith, who him and Rampage got into a talk for. But I agreed with Anthony Smith on that. When you make this podcast, you put him in the thumbnail after all this comes out, and then you just shit on him. I absolutely hated the episode. I think that Bear, again, I like the thing that he has going on with Rampage. I even own one of the chains from the store. They to go from Germany in the 1900s to Civil War and hundreds of years of inequity. I'm sorry, that's kind of like you making a grilled cheese. You burn the shit out of it, and then you're like, fuck it. Let's turn on the heat to high and just make the most. Uh, this is really bad to talk about after slavery. But that's basically like burning your grilled cheese and then keeping it in there like 2 more minutes on high. Just to make the most charred fucking grilled cheese sandwich you can make and serving it out to the audience. But again, my reaction to that, I really wish I could have made it, but again, wasn't near my computer, wasn't near anywhere set up. Man, Jaxxon Podcast really went from one of the most liked podcasts in the MMA community to now I feel like they did lose their respect. They absolutely did. They deleted they deleted the video. They deleted the podcast. Number one rule of any social media, when you cause controversy, keep it up, post your apology, or you double down. Double down on the right thing. Double down on the right thing. Now Bryce Mitchell doubled down on what he said. Yeah, I probably would have cooked him, but again, I kind of just wanted to hit on all these topics in one video. Thank you to anybody who sat through the whole thing. Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think about all of these headlines? What do you think about Ilia Topuria leaving the featherweight title? Patricio Pitbull coming to the UFC? And Forrest Griffin talking about the Civil War right after Bryce Mitchell. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching. Later.